Hello and welcome back to Journey on 64 Squares. In today's episode, we will continue with learning about king and pawn endgames, and we will learn another very important rule in the king and pawn endgames. This is the first position. As you can see, we are black and we have 1, 2, 3 pawns as well as white. But we have an outside pawn over here, and that is very important, and that's the reason why we are winning. Now, the way we will win this game is by pushing the pawn to h4. And let's say white goes king f4 to try to catch the pawn. Now we will sneak in with our king, and by the time that white grabs our pawn, we will take all of his pawns and we just promote. So this is how you should generally win these positions. First, if you have an outside pawn, you should push it. Opponent's king will need to go to stop him, and then you start bringing your king towards your opponent's pawns, like this. And then after he tries to take your pawn, you just continue the journey to his pawns, capture them, and win the game. Okay, this was relatively easy, and this is a bit more complicated example, but very similar. And here it's white's turn again, and the question is, how can white win this game? White is winning. And the answer is by pushing the pawn to h5. You are attacking this pawn, black has to take, and after you trade those pawns, this is very similar to this position. You have an outside pawn, and by the time that black goes to take it, you will take all of these pawns. If he tries to go for this move, for example, then it's a bit tricky. But you are winning by taking this pawn. Because if you take here, after he recaptures, and you go like king c5, he has this move and he's forcing a draw. So that's why instead of taking pawn on b5, you need to take on c6. And now after he takes, you take, he tries to bring his king, but he won't be in time to get to the corner, and that's why you're winning. Now this is the last example. Here material is equal as well as the first two positions, but here black has an outside pawn and we have an outside pawn. So who is better? Well, white is winning and better because he has an outside pawn which is farther from the majority of pawns than the black pawn. Black pawn is only 1, 2, 3 squares away, and our pawn is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares away. And the method of winning this position is very similar. You just push the pawn to h5. If black tries to push his pawn, you just go here. Going in with the king doesn't work because you promote, and that's why black needs to defend the pawn. You just push the pawn and use it as a decoy to make black take it and lose his pawn, and now you're just getting in. You're getting in and you are taking all of these pawns and winning the game like this. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something new. We would really appreciate you if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a feedback in the comment section on what should we improve for the next episode. Goodbye.